Admiral Krenzoth stood on the command deck of his massive warship. His four eyes narrowed as he studied the blue-green planet that filled the main view screen. Earth. Just another primitive world to add to the growing Zilonian Empire. His scaled skin shimmered under the lights as he turned to his second-in-command. This is the planet that has been causing so much fuss in the galactic community? It looks insignificant, he said, his voice a low rumble that filled the command center. Subcommander Vex bowed slightly. Yes, Admiral. Their technology is basic. They have only reached their own moon and placed small colonies on the nearby red planet. Our scans show minimal orbital defenses and outdated weapon systems. Admiral Krenzoth let out a sound that resembled laughter. In his 30 cycles as a military commander, he had conquered 18 worlds. Earth would be the 19th. The reports from intelligence were clear. Humans were physically weak, technologically backward, and divided by petty conflicts. The perfect target. Send the standard message. Give them 48 hours to surrender, he ordered, though I doubt they'll need that long once they see our fleet. On Earth, inside the busy control room of the United Earth Defense Force headquarters. In Colorado, alarms blared as the massive alien ship appeared at the edge of Earth's orbit. Captain Lily Bennett rushed to the main console, her heart racing but her face calm. At 35, she had worked her entire adult life for this moment. First contact with alien life. But not like this. Not with a ship that was clearly built for war. Report, she commanded, her voice steady despite the chaos around her. Lieutenant Noah Garcia, a young man with quick eyes and quicker fingers, looked up from his station. Massive ship, Captain. Unlike anything we've ever seen. It's at least 5 miles long and appears to be heavily armed. They're scanning us, added Chief Science Officer Samantha Wright, her dark skin illuminated by the blue glow of her screens. Comprehensive scans of our planet, our cities, our power grids, and our defenses, Lily finished. They're looking for how hard we can punch back. She straightened her uniform jacket. Open a channel. Let's say hello before they get any ideas. Before they could establish contact, every screen in the command center flickered. The face that appeared wasn't human. It had 4 yellow eyes set in a reptilian face with scales that shimmered like oil on water. The alien's mouth opened to reveal rows of sharp teeth. People of Earth, the creature began, its words translated into perfect English. I am Admiral Krenzoth of the Zilonian Empire. Your world now stands at the edge of our territory. You have 48 hours to surrender your planet and submit to Zilonian rule. If you agree, your transition to Imperial citizenship will be relatively painless. If you resist, the alien's mouth stretched into what might have been a smile. Well, resistance has not ended well for others. The transmission cut off, leaving the command center in stunned silence for 3 seconds before erupting into fearful chatter. Silence, Lily shouted, and the room fell quiet again. She turned to Noah. Get me the president. Now. 20 minutes later, Lily sat in a secure video conference with President Grace Howard and the leaders of the United Earth Defense Council. They're calling our bluff, said President Howard, her face grim on the screen. The question is, do we show our hand now or wait? General Marcus Rodriguez leaned forward. Madam President, we've been preparing for this day for 15 years. Project Guardian is fully operational. Our hidden fleet is ready. I say we strike now while they think we're helpless. Director Alan Russell of Global Intelligence shook his head. Patience, General. Let them think they've won. Admiral Krenzoth is arrogant. Let's use that against him. The longer he believes we're defenseless, the more careless he'll become. Lily listened to the debate, studying the satellite images of the alien vessel. It was enormous, yes, but she could already spot potential weaknesses in its design. We should use the full 48 hours, she suggested. Each minute gives us more data on their ship, their technology, their weaknesses. President Howard nodded slowly. I agree with Captain Bennett and Director Russell. We maintain the illusion of panic and disorganization. Meanwhile, we activate all Guardian protocol assets and prepare for a coordinated response. She looked directly at Lily. Captain, your team will lead the first contact vessel. Make it look diplomatic, but be ready for anything. Yes, madam. President, Lily replied. Back on the Zilonian flagship, Admiral Krenzoth watched with amusement as Earth's primitive satellites tracked his vessel. Their attempts at scanning his ship were like a child trying to understand a starship with a magnifying glass. They're scrambling their leaders together, reported Vex. Their global communications show panic and confusion. As expected, the Admiral said, settling into his command chair. Prepare the invasion force. We won't need the full 48 hours, but I enjoy watching them squirm. What Admiral Krenzoth didn't notice was the subtle change in Earth's satellite movements. He didn't detect the hidden signals bouncing between seemingly ordinary communication satellites. And he certainly didn't see the massive doors sliding open beneath the Pacific Ocean, or deep under the Antarctic ice, or within the mountains of North America. In an underground facility 2 miles beneath Cheyenne Mountain, Lily prepared to board her ship. It looked like a simple diplomatic vessel from the outside, unarmed and unthreatening, but appearances could be deceiving. All systems check complete, Noah reported, as they walked through the final security checkpoint. The Valiant is ready. Captain. Samantha joined them, carrying a tablet filled with data on the alien vessel. I've finished the preliminary analysis. If their ship follows the same engineering principles as their communication technology, I think I've found a way to disrupt their shields. Lily nodded, a small smile forming on her lips. Good work, both of you. She glanced at the massive hangar around them, where dozens of advanced ships were being prepared for launch, ships that no alien intelligence knew existed. I think Admiral Krenzoth is in for quite a surprise. As they boarded the Valiant, Lily took one last look at the bustling activity in the hidden base. Humanity had known this day would come. They had prepared, hidden their true strength, and waited. The Admiral thought Earth was weak, but he was about to learn just how wrong he was. The Valiant rose through a hidden vertical tunnel, its engines nearly silent. Captain Lily Bennett sat in the command chair, watching as the massive doors above them opened to reveal a starry night sky. To any observers, including the Zilonian ship in orbit, they would appear to be just a small diplomatic vessel leaving from a regular spaceport in northern Canada. Maintain civilian flight pattern, Lily ordered. Let's look nervous but determined. Noah nodded from the pilot's seat. Yes, Captain. I'll add some small course corrections. Make it look like we're flown by amateurs. Samantha was at her science station, running final checks on their hidden systems. Stealth technology active. They can see our hull, but everything underneath is invisible to their scans. Lily pressed a button on her chair. This is Captain Bennett to all Guardian bases. Maintain alert status, but stay hidden. Our job is to keep their eyes on us while you prepare for Phase 2. As the Valiant climbed higher into the atmosphere, Admiral Krenzoth watched from his command center with amusement. They're sending up a single ship, he told his officers, who laughed. Scan it. Sub-Commander Vex checked the readings. Minimal weapons, basic shielding. It appears to be a diplomatic vessel, Admiral. How quaint, Krenzoth said. They want to talk. He tapped his clawed fingers against his chair. Let them come aboard. It will be interesting to see these humans up close before we take their world. On the Valiant, they received the invitation to dock with the massive alien warship. They took the bait, Lily said softly. She turned to her small crew. Remember your training. Act impressed but scared. We need them to keep underestimating us. The Valiant docked inside a massive hangar bay on the Zilonian ship. The bay was large enough to hold 100 ships their size. As they prepared to exit, Lily adjusted the small pin on her uniform, a hidden device that would collect valuable data. Ready? She asked her team. Noah and Samantha nodded. Their faces showed the right mix of determination and fear. Not all of it was acting. Despite years of training, this was still first contact with an alien species that wanted to conquer their planet. They stepped out of their ship and were met by 6 tall Zilonian guards with scaled skin that shimmered under the lights. The guards carried weapons that looked like advanced rifles. Follow, one of the guards said in rough English. They were led through corridors made of a dark metal that seemed to absorb light. Lily noticed everything, the thickness of the walls, the location of control panels, the patterns of guard patrols. Her pin silently recorded it all. Finally, they entered a large command room where Admiral Krenzoth waited. He was taller than the other Zolonians, with darker scales, and all four of his yellow eyes fixed on the humans. "Welcome aboard the Glory of Zelon," he said, his voice deep and rumbling. "I am Admiral Krenzoth, soon to be governor of your world." Lily stepped forward. "Captain Lily Bennett of the United Earth Defense Force. We've come to discuss your demands." The Admiral made a sound like rocks grinding together, a laugh. "Demands? I made no demands. I simply informed you of your new reality." He walked around them, studying each human with obvious curiosity. "You are smaller than I expected." "We may be small," Lily said, "but we're not without resources. We request more time to prepare our people for this transition." "Time? Why would I give you time?" Krenzoth asked. "So you can attempt some futile resistance with your primitive weapons?" While Lily kept the Admiral talking, Samantha discreetly studied the control panels around the room. Noah kept track of the guard positions and movements. Everything was going according to plan. Back on Earth, the hidden preparations continued. In the underwater base beneath the Pacific Ocean, Major Patricia Collins watched the live feed from Lily's hidden camera. "They've made it onto the command deck," she reported to Director Alan Russell. "Phase 1 complete." Alan nodded. "Begin Phase 2 preparations. All ships to pre-launch positions." "Dr. Patel, how's the shield network?" Dr. Kevin Patel looked up from his complex array of screens. "Quantum shield network at 98% capacity. Ready to activate on your command." Across the globe, similar preparations were underway. In bunkers and hidden bases, human soldiers and pilots prepared advanced ships and weapons, technology that had been developed in secret for 15 years. On the Zelonian ship, Admiral Krenzoth continued to gloat. "Your planet has resources we need. Your people will serve the Empire. This is the natural order of things." "And if we resist?" Lily asked. The Admiral's yellow eyes narrowed. 18 worlds have asked that same question. None stand against us now. He waved a clawed hand, and a holographic display appeared, showing images of conquered planets and destroyed cities. "This is what resistance looks like," he said. "Each of these worlds thought they could fight. Each fell within days." Lily kept her face carefully neutral, but her heart raced. The Zelonians had clearly done this many times before. The images of destruction were meant to frighten them, and they were frightening. But they also revealed valuable information about Zelonian tactics and weapons. "I see," she said quietly. "Then perhaps we should discuss surrender terms." The Admiral seemed pleased. "Wise decision, Captain. Return to your planet and prepare your leaders. When I arrive tomorrow to accept your surrender, I expect no resistance, so..." They were escorted back to their ship, Noah whispered. "Did you get what we needed?" Lily nodded slightly. "Everything. Their shield frequencies, weapon systems, even the location of their engine core." She kept her voice low. "The Admiral is overconfident. He's not even bothering to hide his tactical displays." Once back aboard, the Valiant, they launched and moved away from the Zelonian ship. "Transmitting all data to Earth now," Samantha said, typing commands into her console. Lily took a deep breath. "Now we move to Phase 3. As the small ship headed back toward Earth, Admiral Krenzoth watched them go. "They are even weaker than we thought," he told Vex. "Did you see the fear in their eyes?" "Yes, Admiral," Vex replied. "Shall I prepare?" "The invasion forces?" "Yes. We'll begin landing troops tomorrow after their surrender. This conquest will be over before it begins." What the Admiral didn't realize was that the small diplomatic vessel had just completed the most successful intelligence mission in Earth's history. And below them, hidden from their sensors, humanity was preparing to teach the Zelonian Empire a lesson they would never forget. The Valiant landed at the hidden base beneath Cheyenne Mountain, and Lily's team rushed to the command center where Director Alan Russell waited with Major Patricia Collins and Dr. Kevin Patel. "Did you get what we needed?" Alan asked as they entered. Lily nodded and removed the pin from her uniform. "Everything. Shield frequencies, power systems, weapons layout, and the location of their engine core. She handed the device to Dr. Patel. Their technology is advanced, but not as advanced as they think. Dr. Patel connected the device to the main computer. Screens around the room lit up with detailed schematics of the Zilonian warship. "Impressive," he said, studying the data. "But I see several weaknesses we can exploit." Major Collins pointed to a section of the ship. "Their shield generators are all connected to a central power node. If we can disrupt that, their entire defensive system would collapse," Samantha finished. "And I know exactly how to do it." Alan turned to Lily. "What's your assessment of Admiral Krenzoth?" "Arrogant, overconfident. He's conquered so many worlds easily that he can't imagine anyone standing against him," Lily said. "He expects us to surrender tomorrow." "Then we'll give him what he expects," Alan said with a thin smile. "At least that's what will make him think. President Howard is preparing to broadcast a planet-wide surrender message." "A fake surrender?" Noah asked. "Exactly," Alan confirmed. "We need the Admiral to believe he's won. That's when we strike." Throughout the night, Earth's hidden forces made final preparations. In the underwater base beneath the Pacific Ocean, advanced submarines, disguised as research vessels, moved into position. In the Antarctic base, pilots ran final checks on their fighters. In orbit, disguised satellites quietly changed position. At dawn, President Grace Howard made her broadcast. Her face appeared on screens across the planet, looking appropriately defeated and solemn. "People of Earth," she began, "after consultation with world leaders and military advisors, we have made the difficult decision to accept the terms offered by the Zilonian Empire. Resistance would only bring suffering to our people. I ask everyone to remain calm and cooperative as we begin this transition." Aboard his ship, Admiral Krenzoth watched the broadcast with satisfaction. "You see, Vex? They understand their place," he said. "Prepare the landing ships. I want troops in their major cities within 2 hours." "Yes, Admiral," Vex replied. "Should we begin disabling their defense systems?" "No need," Krenzoth said with a dismissive wave. "Their weapons are so primitive they couldn't harm a scout ship, let alone the glory of Zelon." As the Zilonian ship moved closer to Earth, Lily sat in the command chair of a very different vessel. The UES Defender was no diplomatic ship. Hidden in a massive underground hangar beneath the Rocky Mountains, it was Earth's most advanced warship, built with technology, developed from studying alien ships that had crashed on Earth over the past 20 years. "All systems ready, Captain," Noah reported from his station. "Quantum drives at full power, shield generators online, weapon systems charged." Around them, 20 similar ships prepared for launch. Each was smaller than the Zilonian flagship, but packed with technology the aliens didn't know humans possessed. In the Cheyenne Mountain Command Center, Alan watched as hundreds of red dots representing Zilonian landing craft began to descend toward Earth. "They've taken the bait," he said. "Initiate Operation Thunderbolt." Dr. Patel nodded and pressed his hand against a scanner. "Quantum shield network activating now." Across the planet, hidden transmitters powered up. A shimmer appeared in the sky as an invisible shield formed around the Earth. The Zilonian landing craft suddenly stopped, unable to pass through the energy barrier. Aboard the Glory of Zelon, alarms blared. "Admiral," Vex shouted, "our landing craft can't penetrate the atmosphere. There's some kind of energy shield around the planet." "Impossible," Krenzoth roared. "They don't have that technology." "Sir, we're detecting energy signatures we didn't see before. They're powering up weapons." Across Earth, hidden bases opened. From beneath the oceans, advanced submarines surfaced. From mountain hideaways, fighter craft shot into the sky. From the Antarctic ice, massive cannons emerged. In the Rocky Mountain base, massive doors slid open in the mountainside. "All ships, launch now," Lily commanded. The Defender rose from its underground hangar, followed by 20 identical ships. They climbed rapidly through the atmosphere, passing easily through the quantum shield that kept the Zilonians out. Admiral Krenzoth stared in disbelief at his sensor readings. "Where did these ships come from? Why didn't we detect them?" "They were hidden, sir," Vex said, his voice shaking. "Underground, underwater. Our scans never penetrated deep enough." Lily's voice came through on all Zolonian communication channels. Admiral Krenzoth, this is Captain Lily Bennett of the United Earth Defense Force. Perhaps we should discuss new surrender terms. Yours. On her command screen, Lily could see the Zolonian ships scrambling to defensive positions. But they were confused, unprepared. The Admiral had been so certain of an easy victory that he hadn't bothered with battle plans for actual resistance. All ships target their shield generators, Lily ordered. Fire on my mark. The Earth fleet moved into formation. Each ship was precisely positioned based on the intelligence Lily had gathered. Fire. 20 quantum torpedoes, weapons developed, using the Admiral's own technology, streaked toward the Zolonian flagship. They passed through the shields as if they weren't there, targeting the central power node Samantha had identified. Explosions rippled across the glory of Zelon as its shields failed. Smaller Zolonian vessels rushed to protect their flagship, only to be met by swarms of Earth fighters that seemed to appear from nowhere. On Earth, President Howard addressed her people again, this time with a very different message. People of Earth, for 15 years we have prepared in secret for this day. The Zolonian Empire thought us weak and primitive. Today they learn how wrong they were. Admiral Krenzoth gripped the arms of his command chair as his ship shuddered under another volley of Earth weapons. How is this possible? He demanded. They're savages, primitives. Vex looked up from the damaged control panel. Sir, they're using modified versions of our own technology against us. Our shields are calibrated to stop our weapons, but they've changed the frequency. Another explosion rocked the ship. Admiral, Vex said urgently, we need to retreat and regroup. For the first time in his long career, Admiral Krenzoth considered retreat. But before he could give the order, the ship's engines went offline. What now? He shouted. Someone has hacked our systems. Vex replied in disbelief. We're locked out of engine control. Outside, the Earth fleet surrounded the crippled Zolonian flagship. The smaller alien vessels that hadn't been destroyed were retreating, jumping to faster than light speed to escape the unexpected resistance. Lily's voice came through again. Admiral, your ship is disabled. Your fleet is retreating. I suggest you surrender while you still can. Admiral Krenzoth stared at the view screen showing the Earth ships surrounding him, the ships he had dismissed as primitive just 1 day ago. The ships that had just defeated the most powerful vessel in the Zolonian fleet. For the first time in 18 conquests, Admiral Krenzoth had lost. Admiral Krenzoth stood in the meeting room of the Defender, surrounded by human guards. His massive frame seemed less impressive now, his scaled skin dull without the commanding presence he once had. Across from him sat Captain Lily Bennett, Director Alan Russell, and President Grace Howard, who had come up from Earth for this historic meeting. You tricked me, the Admiral said, his voice low and angry. We protected ourselves, President Howard corrected. There's a difference. Lily pushed a tablet across the table showing images of planets the Zolonians had conquered. 18 worlds, all destroyed or enslaved because they weren't prepared. We've been watching your empire expand for 20 years, Admiral. Did you really think we wouldn't notice? The Admiral's 4 eyes blinked in surprise. 20 years? Impossible. We only began operating in this sector 5 years ago. We detected your scout ships long before that, Alan explained. A small vessel crashed in our desert region. We studied it, learned your language, your technology, everything we needed to prepare. For the first time, doubt crept into the Admiral's expression. The scout ship that went missing, we thought it was destroyed in an asteroid field. Not quite, Dr. Kevin Patel said as he entered the room. He placed a small device on the table that projected a hologram of the crashed alien ship. This gave us our first look at Zolonian technology. Since then, we've monitored every move your empire has made across the galaxy. Back on Earth, the people watched news reports about the defeated alien fleet. In cities around the world, hidden, defense installations finally revealed themselves. Citizens stared in wonder at the advanced technology that had been developed in secret right under their noses. In Geneva, the United Nations held an emergency session where world leaders discussed the new reality humanity now faced. Screens showed the captured Zilonian ship in orbit, surrounded by Earth's previously hidden fleet. "We are no longer alone in the universe," the UN Secretary-General announced. "And thanks to the Guardian program, we are not defenseless." In space, Major Patricia Collins led teams of engineers and scientists who boarded the disabled Glory of Mount Zealand. They moved through the massive ship, documenting everything, downloading data, and studying technology that could be adapted for human use. "The ship's database is a goldmine," she reported back to Earth. "Star charts, technology specs, information on dozens of alien species. We've just gained centuries of advancement in a single day." On the Defender, Admiral Krenzoth was beginning to understand the full extent of his defeat. "Your deception was impressive," he admitted reluctantly. "Making your planet appear primitive while building an advanced fleet in secret. No species has ever attempted such a strategy against us. Humans have a long history of preparing for the worst while hoping for the best," Lily said. "We didn't want war, Admiral. We just wanted to be ready if it came to us." President Howard leaned forward. "Now we need to discuss what happens next. Your fleet has retreated, but they'll report back to your empire. We need to know what to expect." Thor. Admiral was silent for a long moment, his alien features difficult to read. Finally he spoke. "The Empire has never suffered a defeat like this. They will not take it well." "Will they send a larger force?" Alan asked. "Eventually," the Admiral said, "but not immediately. The Empire's forces are spread thin across many fronts. They cannot mount another major offensive in this sector for at least one of your Earth years." Noah entered the room and whispered something to Lily. She nodded and turned to the others. "The remaining Zilonian ships have just jumped to faster-than-light speed. They're heading back to Imperial space." President Howard stood. "Then we have some time. Time to prepare to build our defenses even stronger." "It won't be enough," the Admiral said. "The Empire will send hundreds of ships next time." "Maybe we don't need to fight them," Lily suggested. "Admiral, you've seen what we can do. You know we're not the easy conquest you thought we were. Perhaps you could help broker a peace between Earth and the Zilonian Empire." The Admiral's eyes widened. "You want me to help you? After I tried to conquer your world?" "We want to avoid unnecessary bloodshed," President Howard explained. "On both sides. A war between Earth and the Zilonian Empire would be costly for everyone." As the discussions continued, Samantha worked with Dr. Patel in the ship's lab, studying the Zilonian technology. The Admiral had provided access codes that allowed them to unlock more of the alien ship's systems. "Their faster-than-light drive is fascinating," Samantha said, examining the schematics. "With some modifications, we could improve our own drives by at least 300%. Dr. Patel nodded. "And their medical technology is decades ahead of ours. Imagine what we could do with this knowledge." Across Earth, humanity was coming to terms with its new place in the galaxy. No longer isolated, no longer ignorant of the larger cosmic community. Television shows featured experts discussing what life might be like on other worlds. Children looked up at the stars with new understanding. In orbit, work crews began constructing Earth's first true space station. Not the small research platforms of before, but a massive defensive installation designed to protect the planet from future threats. 3 days after the battle, Admiral Krenzoth stood on the observation deck of the Defender, looking down at Earth. Lily joined him, keeping a respectful distance. "Your world is beautiful," the Admiral said quietly. "I see now why you fought so hard to protect it." "Would you have done any less for your homeworld?" Lily asked. The Admiral made a sound that might have been a laugh. "My people have conquered so many worlds that we sometimes forget what it means to have a home worth defending. Will you help us, Admiral? Help us find a peaceful solution?" The Admiral turned to look at her. "The Empire respects strength. You have shown yours. Perhaps peace is possible." Lily smiled. "Then that's where we'll start." In the command center, Noah and Samantha watched the discussion on a monitor. "Do you think we can trust him?" Noah asked. Samantha shrugged. "I don't know, But we trusted our leaders to prepare us for this day, and they did. Maybe this is the next step, learning to trust beings from other worlds. As the Defender orbited Earth, the first messages were sent to the Zilonian Empire, not messages of defiance or threats, but an invitation to talk, to negotiate, to find a new way forward. And on his flagship, now in human hands, Admiral Krenzoth began to see the species he had dismissed as primitive in a new light, a species that had outsmarted the mighty Zilonian Empire, a species that offered peace from a position of strength, a species that would soon take its place among the stars, not as conquered subjects but as equals. 6 months after the battle, Earth had changed. Humans worked alongside their new alien allies, building a future neither had imagined before. The massive Zilonian flagship, now renamed the Unity, orbited Earth as a symbol of the new alliance. Admiral Krenzoth stood beside Captain Lily Bennett on the observation deck of the new Geneva space station. Below them, Earth shone like a blue jewel. "The Zilonian Council arrives tomorrow," Lily said, checking her tablet. "Are you ready?" The Admiral nodded. His once fearsome appearance now seemed almost familiar to the humans who worked with him. "I never thought I would stand before the Council as a peace ambassador rather than a conqueror." "Life is full of surprises," Lily replied with a smile. After the battle, Admiral Krenzoth had made a difficult choice. Rather than seeking revenge, he had sent messages to the Zilonian Empire, urging peace talks. At first, the Empire had threatened to send a massive fleet to punish both Earth and their traitorous admiral. But when they learned how badly their best ship had been defeated, and when they saw the technology humans now possessed, they agreed to negotiations. In the station's main conference room, Noah worked with a team of human and Zilonian technicians, preparing the translator systems for the upcoming talks. "Test phrase, please," Noah said to a young Zilonian engineer. "The stars shine bright on the path to peace," the alien said in his native language. The translator system converted it perfectly to English and then to 20 other Earth languages. "Perfect," Noah said. "We're ready for tomorrow." Samantha entered, the room carrying new data tablets. "The latest updates from Dr. Patel," she explained. "He's integrated more of the Zilonian medical technology into our systems. Hospitals around the world are already using it to save lives." In the 6 months since first contact, humanity had advanced more than they had in the previous 50 years. The technology from the Zilonian ship had revolutionized medicine, energy, production, and space travel. Earth's first colony ships were already under construction, preparing to take humans to nearby star systems. But the greatest change had been in humanity's understanding of their place in the universe. Schools now taught about alien civilizations. Children learned about the many species that inhabited the galaxy. The fear and panic that might have come with first contact had been replaced by curiosity and wonder. On Earth, President Howard addressed the United Nations General Assembly. "Tomorrow, we welcome the Zilonian Council to Earth," she said. "This marks not just a historic moment for humanity, but a turning point for the Zilonian Empire as well. Together, we are forging a new path forward, not as conquerors and conquered, but as partners." The assembly hall erupted in applause. Among those clapping was Director Alan Russell, who had guided Project Guardian from its earliest days. "Did you ever imagine it would turn out like this?" asked Major Patricia Collins, sitting. Beside him, Alan shook his head. "We prepared for war hoping it would never come. But this outcome, peace, alliance, advancement, this exceeded even our most optimistic hopes." The next morning, a Zilonian diplomatic vessel entered Earth orbit. Unlike the warship that had arrived 6 months earlier, this ship came with messages of peace. On the Geneva space station, Admiral Krenzoth stood at attention as 5 members of the Zilonian Council stepped onto the station. They were older than the Admiral, their scales faded to a pale blue, but their 4 eyes still burned with intensity. "Admiral Krenzoth," said the lead counselor, her voice cold, "you failed to conquer this world as ordered." "Yes, counselor," the Admiral replied, "and in failing I discovered something far more valuable than another conquered planet. "And what might that be?" asked another counselor. "A worthy ally," the admiral said. "Humans achieved in secret what many advanced species could not achieve. Openly, they developed technology to match our own. They studied us without our knowledge, and they defeated our best warship with minimal casualties." The counselors murmured among themselves. One stepped forward to examine a nearby human engineer, studying him with open curiosity. "They are small," the counselor noted. "Physically unimpressive." "So we thought," the admiral agreed. "But their minds are remarkable. In the 6 months I have worked with them, they have already improved upon several of our technologies." Captain Lily Bennett entered with President Howard and Director Russell. The human delegation bowed respectfully to the Zilonian Council. "Welcome to human space," President Howard said. "We are honored by your presence." The lead counselor's expression was difficult for humans to read, but her tone softened slightly. "We have reviewed Admiral Krenzoth's reports and the data from the battle. It seems we underestimated your species." "A common mistake," Lily said with a small smile. "One we hope will not be repeated." The formal negotiations began in the station's grand hall. Maps of space were projected on the walls, showing Zilonian territory, Earth's solar system, and the vast unexplored regions beyond. "We propose a mutual defense agreement," Director Russell explained. "Earth will share its unique defensive technologies. In exchange, the Zilonian Empire will recognize Earth's sovereignty and right to explore and colonize unclaimed systems in this sector." The counselors listened, occasionally asking questions or conferring among themselves. To everyone's surprise, they seemed genuinely interested in the human proposals. During a break in the talks, Admiral Krenzoth found Lily looking out at the stars. "You knew this would happen," he said. "From the moment you came aboard my ship. As supposed diplomats, you were planning for this day." Lily shook her head. "Not exactly. We hoped for peace, but we prepared for war. It's what humans have always done." "A wise approach," the admiral admitted. "One the Empire could learn from." By the end of the week, the treaty was signed. The Zilonian Empire would pull back its borders, recognizing Earth's right to exist as an independent power. Trade routes would be established, cultural exchanges would begin, and perhaps most importantly, knowledge would be shared. 1 month later, the first joint human-Zilonian mission prepared to launch. The UES Discovery, built with technology from both species, would explore beyond the boundaries of known space. Standing on the observation deck watching the final preparations, Lily felt a sense of pride she had never experienced before. "Captain Bennett," said a voice behind her. She turned to find Noah there. "They're ready for you." Lily nodded and took one last look at Earth before heading to the shuttle bay. As the newly appointed captain of the Discovery, she would lead humans and Zilonians into unexplored space. Admiral Krenzoth waited by the shuttle. "Ready for a new adventure, Captain?" "Always, Admiral," she replied. As their shuttle approached the Discovery, Lily thought about the journey that had brought them here. 6 months ago, the Admiral had come to conquer. Now he came as an ally and friend. The Zilonian had believed Earth was feeble. He had discovered instead a species worthy of respect, a species that would now join the galactic community not as subjects, but as equals. And together, they would reach for the stars.